Welcome everyone to this live stream. Slightly irritated that somehow OBS has a bad day today. Somehow 27-ish frames, but whatever. Anyway, welcome everyone to some more Linux work here. Let's see how many people tune in for this fun scripting stuff. So people on the mailing list asked here on T2 mailing list, so it's like Puppy Linux and friends and family there. Regarding Toolchain, I'm always feeling you see this and also otherwise. So the question is building a toolchain. So the question is, of course, T2, our open source, built from source, cross-compile, Linux stuff, bootstrapping a compiler, like compiling a compiler from source, doing all the downloading, all the patching, all the configuring and all this stuff that is hard to get right. Also apparently to this emails, as you can see people asking. So the question is there from Skazi John, can this be modified? Like the bootstrap configuration is relatively large, 57 packages apparently, which also we can, fun fact, this here, package, target generic package selection 00 bootstrap. And fun fact, I only did this a long time ago, actually, maybe even for, actually it's not so large, word count, okay, 84, okay, maybe it's larger than it looks. And maybe I've even, so basically I think nobody really asked for this a decade ago, and I mostly have done this for benchmarking, like 15 years ago when I was also writing Linux magazine articles and such. And maybe I, as far as I remember, actually mostly did this to like really benchmark this with different versions of GCC to see how many 10-20% this became slower. Anyway, of course this is relatively long, especially over the years we added more and more stuff, because for one thing, GCC and other packages had new dependencies. Like back in the day, GCC was just GCC. Then eventually it needed all those other fun CLOC, PPL and whatnot stuff. And also the other, like maybe sometimes something didn't build because even the fun of autoconf stuff did the syntax error out due to an old version of GNU.org, of SED. This is why actually patch and even like PC Perl compatible regular expression is only in here because for a full bootstrap you would need this, because often like if you use this on last year's Debian or something, or Debian usually already a little bit older, and then like last year's Debian something plus some years of stable oldness, then you sometimes can't build the stuff because syntax error of GNU.org, SED, bash, all the fun stuff. So actually what I personally have done, so normally I would not even do this now because I have a little bit too much to do, and if I do each and everyone's feature wish for free, then I get nothing done. And probably, full disclosure, probably I would not even do this now if it would not be for YouTube. So thanks for watching, sharing, and liking and subscribing. You are basically sponsoring such kind of fun changes, because basically I would say, like, you know what, it's a little bit trivial. You can maybe edit this file yourself, but yeah, whatever, YOLO. So what I wanted to do now also, so this is on the AMD Ryzen, this is not my data center. You see just a little bit, actually here a little bit, but anyway, probably another day I should also sort through all this fun stuff. But today I wanted to make a toolchain selection. This would also, this is again the wrong, only live here on YouTube. So how many changes? Okay, no real changes in here. So what I wanted to do here is factoring out this toolchain stuff, because I thought sometimes I use this even myself a little bit. For example, recently for the FPGA Pico RISC-V toolchain, of course I mentioned this, I built this with T2, maybe even here, build RISC, maybe not here, maybe somewhere else. Anyway, and also for the keyboard dongle adapter that I'm using here for the previous video, amazing Sun keyboard to USB converter here, still hanging behind my display. This is not really long enough, only short circuiting this here. So yeah, this one here, previous video, amazing stuff. And for this AVR, as I said, usually this is how I also use T2, that when I download another precompiled AVR like 8-bit microcontroller toolchain, it is not necessary that it works due to all the glibc and other fun dependencies and symbols and visibility and whatnot. So it can always be I download some precompiled binary AVR toolchain stuff for Red Hat or whatever, and it doesn't even work, so why should I bother? And then of course I rather do it in 30 minutes from source, which in my opinion is actually how you probably also should do it from source. So architecture, I think I added AVR just for the fun of it. Yeah, AVR 32-bit is something we had for 15 decades, a 32-bit variant. But yes, this AVR I added just for this, and this is exactly how you could use it. Honestly, the last time I just edited the package list manually, so let's now make this a little bit nicer for everyone. So that would be target, generic package selection. Targets, of course, you could make your wireless router target stuff or something. So yeah. So we probably want to copy this SVN, or maybe. So the only thing is, if we subversion copy this, then actually our diff might be larger. So maybe let's normal copy this and SVN add this. That would be then 00 tool chain 00 tool chain, no typo. And because then the diff is, because we most likely delete everything, the diff is likely. But leave me in the comments below what is your, actually this was the right file. Leave me in the comments below what you prefer, SVS, Git or whatever version control system copy for some history, or not for some smaller diff, tool chain, package selection. So this is libc actually, maybe we leave this in here. So it's a little bit, yeah, whatever. It could, as so often with software development, I could spend 1 hour to make this C library selection somehow nicer, but whatever, some comment. So that we probably keep here. So theoretically, so the question is, how much stuff do we need? We could, so dir-tree is of course a file system hierarchy standard, like creating some, this is a T2 package. I was actually considering to rename this a decade ago, like 00 file system hierarchy standard, but to be honest, like never change running system. It's working, so let's not touch it. So the question is, should it be in here or not? Maybe, I mean theoretically we don't really need this, because just building this will create like building minutils in GCC, but on the other hand, maybe. So what we definitely do not need, we don't really need. So assuming, so this would assume now that you have a new enough system, like not last year's Debian where everything is outdated and well, it might or might not build, but so given that we expect like the most minimal, if you have a somewhat mostly modern working system, so we can delete all of this CPAO, autoconf, automake, I think we don't need. So because we only built the tool chain, I think we can even delete bash, I guess, BC, so bin utils we need. So there's the question, do we need, I mean the system probably should have bson, so maybe we take it out here, curl diff utils. So basically we don't need all of this. Then the question is, which of those packages are still needed by GCC? Actually, I myself lost the overview a little bit, so that would all be somewhat like, yeah, mostly GCC dependencies. Actually, but very theoretically, we could try like similar here. Maybe I'll make a comment here like to do something nicer, compiler selection for GCC versus C-Lang nowadays, but whatever. So all this archiving stuff we don't really need, like again, assuming like the system is like has something to extract tar bc2 set standard, you need to bring it then. So actually, so toolchain, theoretically we need a Linux kernel, except when we do not, for example, for AVR32 or PicoRISC 5, but let's leave it in here for the sake of regular Linux toolchain. So, caps lock. So again, theoretically we don't need make, given that the system should have make. Meson, I think. Like if we, but there you see, why do we have this in? Even like last year's Debian might not everyone might have Meson installed. This is why it's in here for like bootstrapping a completely independent system. That is the reasoning behind. Again, we could theoretically leave like make in here just to make sure we have a recent make, but maybe nowadays, because back in the day, we only added this here like 15 years ago when stuff didn't build because of new amazing GNU make features. Also mktemp in decade ago, many distributions didn't have a new and working enough version. Patch, again, all this stuff only in here for really bootstrapping this from scratch. Maybe we leave package config in, although strictly speaking for just the toolchain, I mean we could, let's try to do this, or maybe we could add everything back in. Stone, we actually rocknet in there is rocknet. It's a little bit, don't really strictly need this for bootstrapping. Anyway, so that would be the most minimal toolchain package selection. Stone mostly only for creating binary packages, which maybe not, maybe we remove this. The way I set this up, because so previously in Rock Linux times, a decade ago, we didn't have this. This target stuff was an invention of Rock Linux 2, I guess, in 2003, 4, something of that sort. Also 15 years ago, when before it was a source distribution like Gentoo, just like building one thing, and then we developed this target selection stuff of defining your target firewall, emulator, media center, you name it. So then we would take here this bootstrap and we can actually source files here. Let's open some minimal because it just includes, so reuse, so this would now not to have this duplication of compiler stuff. So now in bootstrap we can like delete all of this, which is like the toolchain we just created, so that is all of this. Reusability is great, right? Include toolchain. And this also boils down, why is stuff changing? Myself, usually the recommendation, never touch a running system and don't touch and change what's broken. It's like literally not really broken, just like external people, Puppy Linux and other YouTube fans and stuff ask for changes, and then changes for also improving stuff. Let's see, so the next was, the next was GCC, so that was all this GMP to GCC stuff. And inheriting these changes, did I probably Stone, not sure if I, oops. What read-only file? What? Probably had this open or something. So let's double check toolchain we had. Also, it doesn't really hurt if we have the selection. Even if we would have like selecting Stone in here and in some other, it wouldn't really hurt. I only wonder, so probably another day I should review which of those dependencies GCC really still needs. I also remember that you could build GCC without some of those optional dependencies. You just don't have all the loop vectorization optimizations or something of that sort anyway. So this would be the super most minimal thing if someone wanted to, I guess. And this is the diff now. Probably you see, instead of, this is what I mean with optimizing the change set size, just adding these lines, otherwise it would also be deleting all the others. Leave me in the comments below what you think. I'm not even sure architecture AVR, I've only used this once. Let's quickly, so Arch target without Linux, otherwise it needs Linux headers. And let's maybe actually try to compile this. Do I have some config AVR? No, we don't. So you would run this with config AVR. Let's try to, CFG probably, AVR. And this is how you would use this. This of course would bring up the default configuration. And then we say here, instead of minimal, the new toolchain. Maybe I actually should rename this. This is why it has numbers to sort this alphabetically. So to have toolchain first, I would actually need to rename the other. So toolchain, this is a cross build between architectures. So yeah, I think we probably want Stone in the Stone, the setup tool, one thing of, actually not Stone, mine actually. Because we want to create maybe binary packages, which otherwise we probably would get an error. Not that you would want binary installable packages, but actually on the other hand. Anyway, so toolchain, and then not this, but page up doesn't work. Here, and yeah, getting a little bit slow is rereading all the files a little bit often, but whatever. Also, we probably want tempfs for the, actually, okay, this is on for some reason. So let's try to build this and see what happens. Build AVR. The good thing is this is the Ryzen, also last year, so that is somewhat fast. So 00 gear tree still not, yeah, on the other hand, you see it's super small package, doesn't hurt much, and this already fails. Linux header, okay, so Linux, maybe we fix this. So there you see the difference between the last time for this Sun keyboard board thing. I just hacked this together now. Probably the last time I just touched the file, because AVR, of course, 8-bit microcontroller stuff doesn't have like support or a target in the Linux kernel. So if we want to have this super nice, we actually should say here architecture minus AVR, like supporting everything except 8-bit microcontroller AVR. So this T2 stuff is keep it stupid, simple, minimal, and this is why it's not fail-proof. The one thing it does automatically, you've seen, because we touched this file, it rebuilt the config. However, the T2 stuff, it's a little bit expert system, so you can totally mess it up if you're not careful. So a little bit like expert system, use with caution and stuff. Welcome there, greetings to Brazil. Brazil was speaking Portuguese, right? So hola. Is it hola in Portuguese? It's the same in Spain. Anyway, Brazil, excellent channel about shell script. Hola. Yeah, welcome. Obrigado for tuning in here to this channel. So you see bin util, so this stuff really works, and how flexible, and why I like our own T2, shameless self-promotion here. Not only are all the patches nicely structured, sorted into the packages, so really nice packages, even if you are working at SUSE or Red Hat. This is actually what people do there. We have actually, fun fact, on some of our websites, the number one host, like external access, is actually from Red Hat, like Red Hat.com. So here you see, even with, yeah, when people tell me, yeah, I've done nothing for 20 years, yeah, so much nothing that people from Red Hat access our website most. Thank you for that. Totally welcome. Package, so, okay, that is also cool. And there you see how flexible this is, and we had this on the to-do for decades, and some of the stuff like Minix and BSD, but you see everything takes some time, and we mostly do what is here the most important for us. And you also see how simple this is, why I'm sometimes getting a little bit irritated when people ask me, hey, this is Toolchain, like, yeah, can you not just edit this file and be done with it? But yeah. Anyway, I hope you appreciate this work, and it's also testing, right? It's not only this 5 minutes changing this file, it's also, actually, by the way, fun fact, I had, how many here? 30 frames per second. So somehow I'm not sure why sometimes OBS has a bad day with this. I had a second retro vintage term open to the data center already, but I'm not sure why it had less frames. I only closed it for not streaming here with streaming here with 23 frames. How many do we have now? Oops. we now have, yeah, 27. Anyway, because we also, while we wait for this build, we also have our daily, and yes, we will still automate this next, so don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for even more shell scripting, because this is what I talk about in regards to daily T2 updates here from our nightly tracker. So UNRWA, certainly, usually, often some security vulnerability also. So update, and this is what I mean with automating. So this is already automated, scanning download servers, but of course we should actually, that is what I mentioned a couple of times already, next we should actually automatically build this. Also, yeah, new stuff, I'm actually not sure. Leave me, if you know, leave me in the comments below. In previous times, uneven middle version numbers were usually unstable. Actually, I'm not even sure with, yeah, 43 is it? Yeah, it's on screen. With this modern stuff, I'm actually not sure. Maybe I should Google this here and fact check, because even I don't know if this is stable now or not. But here this Nginx, we have 117, 27 frames. Oops. Nginx, I probably so. Nginx, that is what I mean with even with a nice web view. So that you see all the patches here. This an error for, I don't know for what reason. Anyway, you can check this subversion history. Might not even be by myself. Maybe some of the patches are even deprecated, but in general, nicely grouping of patches and, sorry, configuration. So where's the download? Here's the download. So stable mainline. So this is funny. They have here, they call it mainline, and this is stable. 2019, even the version numbers is confusing. So it doesn't help me much if this is stable and this is mainline. Probably mainline is the new in classification of development, I guess. So not even sure what should we package now. Should we package stable or mainline? I have no idea. If you are using Nginx, let me know. Let's fact check GNOME here. And again, all the people welcome to steal our stuff here from this nice package listing. The best collection of cross-compile and compile patches money can't buy. So GNOME, this would be gedit, for example, I think I saw there. And yeah, also super old, yeah, GNOME 2, like probably, I should probably SED over all this, removing the GNOME 2, because in the meantime it's GNOME 3, but whatever. Actually, fun fact, maybe we do this. Let's make here T2 totally great again. Only live, this is what we are here for. And yes, you see the stuff is compiling also. I should actually have run this in Tmux here, but whatever. So GNOME, did I already rename? Okay, GNOME, actually this is not yet. So probably another day I want to rename this GNOME 2 also. Let's, probably I don't have changes in here, no I don't. SED substitute, so that is with a dash, or it's with a dash. Let's maybe first grab for case insensitive GNOME 2 pack star desk. Yeah, darn it. That's not what I meant. Let's capital I tag star Z. Okay, that is also insert. Anyway, so we have here very few, and it's so not super easy to substitute because of the matches in other stray stuff. Although probably I could narrow down this match, but whatever. So yeah, let's make our package description even more amazing. Wait a second, what have I done for, oh, this was both what? Both in the same file. Confusing myself here. And let's see if we probably find more matches with dash, so that is a couple of more ones. And so that we can, because can we grab, so I mean the thing is that these are a few, I mean usually I say automate everything, but if it's just a few it might actually take longer to narrow down the SED matching to substitute just exactly, not some random file include stuff. What's with my English today? Okay, e.g. GNOME 2. Yeah, but again, probably we want to rename the Yeah, I'm also not sure if it should be capital, but also here you see that it's even. This is what you do while you were waiting for your test build. So basically, also here in brackets, orbit implementation for Cobra. Can also remove that, maybe that is nicer. So I'm not sure, do they still, or actually probably looks like no more files. So that probably should look good. So you see there's always something to do even. Well, theoretically this is of course like, yeah, nobody really needs this, but that is the difference between it's, oops, I hope I didn't cancel this. Yeah, removed some to text version to version text if whatever in GNOME packages, whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, but that is just, yeah, don't really need to do this, but yeah, waiting for builds anyway. And how many dropped? 30 FPS for whatever reason. So let's see, cool retro. So that is the data center. Actually, this is the build here. We are still building this. Actually, with so many cores, even not the most parallel. Anyway, so that was GNOME update stuff, because why not? Actually, we only wanted to check if this is stable or not. So 330, do we even, was it? Actually, wait a second, there's a new Xorg server. Yay, there's a new Xorg server for our vintage. Also, there are public service announcements. There have been plenty of new Mesa releases. Like one changed it at a time because first broke all the renderings, then broke all PowerPC. Yeah, so much to broken stuff in 2019. So let's see. User documentation, get the release tables. Let's see what version we are getting. But okay, so it's not really helpful for, yeah, it's 34. So yeah, totally not helpful that they actually does this cachation stuff. It's a little bit unreadable though. Yeah, no comments in the audience in regards to this. You can always appreciating your comments. Often, yeah, also you see we have here 33, which fun fact, we probably have here minor update. Also, yeah, AVRLibs also, you see, not only does T2 have support, okay, Carlos is on KD Plasma, which is also cool. Just a shout out, like how stupid. I really wish we would have like one standard, like back in the day, 2 decades ago, when I grew up with open source, there was this unspoken or somewhat spoken standard of uneven version numbers are unstable. And yeah, back in the day, I know not everyone followed this rule. There were some outliners, but many people did, and now it's somehow like, I lost overview. It's, I don't know. So basically what this means for us is we most likely, we have check version tags, and as we want to automate this now, if we could of course hard code this in our soon to be written, like we have already this automated HTTP and FTP directory listing scanning code to track updates that I want to further automate to relieve me from this work. But additionally, we probably need some marks, because like hard coding doesn't cut it anymore in 2019, because everyone uses their own standard. By the way, did I think I updated this, didn't I, anyway? So yeah, this is a little bit update. This was gedit. Let's see, do we have this update? Or actually we have this, but maybe not, maybe it didn't build, but yeah, YOLO, whatever. Let's just commit this, because yeah, also I'm on Blackbox or whatever. Also, if you are interested in like contributing to this documentation of amazing, hopefully, description of patches and build configuration stuff, patches welcome. You can even use it to build on, yeah, maybe lost, I said this a couple of times, maybe lost opportunity not only for Haiku back in the day when the OpenBOS people considered this, but maybe even like homebrew on macOS, maybe I actually really should. And it's so sad, I personally have done this. I said this also in 2004 or 5. Use T2 on macOS to build like subversion, like emerge subversion. It's like totally doable. Of course, I don't do this every day, but maybe we actually should invest. Maybe actually the sad thing is maybe if, but yeah, like parallel universe of missed opportunities. Maybe this like T2 homebrew on macOS, if like that we have not really pursued, but maybe this would actually be more successful than T2 Linux, like T2 homebrew on other systems. That's, yeah, it's sad that you focus on your Linux passion, and that might have been a lost chance of more successful stuff anyway. Do you see that GTK4 makes some progress in hardware acceleration? I saw sometimes some stuff, but not really following that too closely. Now they can use OpenGL on Vulkan. That's amazing too. Certainly needed. So let's see here our cool retro terminal stuff of, okay, bin utils cannot create. Okay, so this is now expected. So we have, this is the only drawback, like, yeah, okay, this is probably good enough. So this is only like the tool chain that it's trying to cross-compile bin utils. Of course, that fails. That is somewhat good enough. Also, it would like cross-compile. GCC now, this is like somewhat expected. Theoretically, we could make that even nicer, like have a configuration option of like only, like, because right now we expect to build a whole system. Like right now with this tool chain stuff, we don't really want to build a whole system. That is why, yeah. The problem is I can't like put it just in this toolchain selection, because theoretically you could still build a Linux toolchain, and for Linux toolchain you could cross-compile GCC now and stuff. But yeah, you see, this is why we have so many config options in C2, because possibilities are endless. But basically we have already the compiler here in build AVR toolchain tools cross. Yeah, it's a little bit many passes, but whatever. So AVR CC here, even C++, because amazing. And so I would call this achievement unlocked, although yeah, it's now with some build error, but yeah, this is also can't do each and everyone's wish here. That is already a huge improvement, I hope. As usual, the risk, I could have now broken something else, so very theoretically probably should test building a whole system, but probably I will naturally find this. Can't also test each and every small thing, but instead of testing a whole build now, I will see the next days as next time I build for the Octane or P3 or Sun. We will find out. The only thing is maybe directly we rename this package selection, so generic package selection here of moving. I hope SVN subversion is good enough to manage that, because actually, wait a second, no, we have, that is slightly stupid. Okay, maybe we even, because even the minimal is before that. This is only not technical, this is only like usability of sorting this more nicely here. Welcome also Victor. So sorting this more nicely would mean like only for the user and end user or developer selection in the configuration of T2. So move here this, so basically bootstrap, you see we have here already 10, so the only thing is now the numbers get a little bit crowded. It's a little bit stupid, so honestly. Also, maybe, you know what, maybe we commit it like this. Target generic package cell. Actually, that is funny that we have a double space in there. Our integrated commit warning highlighting stuff. So welcome Victor, not really sure for what, for T2 scripting work or what you thank me for, but you're welcome in any case. So let's diff this again. Okay, this is removal, that is that. Factored out to just bare minimal Toolchain factored out, just one factored out of that was bootstrap. Whatever, double output. Not an English lesson here. Bearing your toolchain, so commit this, it should be these two files, and rename this in a second step, because the best thing, because we have this minimal XORG here at a very low, like numerically sorted priority, it's probably best to rename many of them. This is why, otherwise I would have done this in one commit, but this is renaming nearly everything that it's not so crowded. So basically making this here 40, like just spreading this number that it's a little bit less crowded. Otherwise I would have everything in 0 to 10, be a little bit stupid. So minimal XORG, and then move that next would be a minimal. Let's maybe make this here something like 20, I guess. And then we have bootstrap, and let's make the 10. That just doesn't, again, we would not really technical issue, just like a little bit more future proof the next time we add something in between, otherwise we would have everything. So yeah, of course, that maybe we should have ls this target generic package cell of so toolchain bootstrap minimal XORG. That probably looks actually wait a second, I have a benchmark. This benchmark probably is relatively minimal for exactly this benchmarking, but whatever. Let's take a look how this looks in the config, and then okay, cool stuff. Obviously, so everyone's welcome, and so yes, what we have changed here with this renaming is just the order of this, so that is now no package selection, toolchain, bootstrap, minimalistic. So yeah, that is nicely sorted there. And for everyone, you at home, if you need a toolchain for AVR, for ARM, for firmware, low level fun stuff, for your FPGA or Tinsy something or other 1-bit squared stuff. So commit this here, actually maybe just this, not to touch the copyright, because whatever. Target generic commit sorted generic package selection for better config sorting. So here, it's probably, so you see even on this I have, well, except, so what was the other Blackbox was maybe, and was this an update or? Actually not really sure what was up with this, so we can shut down this Ryzen, shut down. And actually I think I overclosed here now this. Darn it. Anyway, I'm still not yet sure what is with this gedit stuff. Would say write this in GNOME.org. But yeah, even after 20 years, you can't even be sure if you are not using this daily. You can't even be sure. Where would be... I mean, the thing is, because they mostly want people include 334, 34, Gentoo only has 330. Are we more up to date than Gentoo? The problem is that, yeah, there's only links here. It doesn't really say. I mean, they have here 334. So maybe this is still like in good old-fashioned times that this was unstable. So we have here 335. So probably still unstable. Yeah, that's up next then. Probably, maybe. So also this will be one unified code base. Right now, this is of course running just this direction listing scanning stuff nightly. So that will be integrated of, by the way, did I update this? Xorg server. But this is exactly what needs to be coded. Also, yeah, this is live, not really. But basically, okay, you see here many things are, so basically I could theoretically run some SED probably over most GNOME packages. Just that, yeah, it's not really that much building here anyway. But this most likely should be then coded into the version matching code to automatically skip over all of those GNOME games. Here, so many. There's 1 plus, there's a 3 here. Many things are 334. But you see, it doesn't really make much sense to fight this windmill here manually with. Here I actually probably already updated this GNOME network, glib network to 2, because I wasn't even sure about this. But it's probably, did I update this gedit already? But the problem is, if this would be only 10 packages, like, well, actually, even in KDE, it's not even 10 packages anymore. If this would, in previous times, KDE, like a decade ago, it was only less than 20 packages, like KDE Base, KDE Ellipse, Arts, and all the other fun stuff. And back in the day, you could like update KDE, but even with the automatic tracking, you see even cut and pasting, it doesn't even make sense anymore. It is just too much. It's totally not sustainable, and yeah. Probably that's it for today. Let's manually build the X server and just to commit this early Xorg server. Let's see what other comments. Authorbox gone like magic, making that overview fine. What KDE Plasma? Go in the search bar and type KDE Plasma. Make all that will. Anyway, don't understand coding and programming, but like the videos will go well. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, also this, what else have you updated? Mesa, was there anything? I wanted to actually update Blackbox, if this is still in the copy and paste buffer, but maybe not. But this is exactly, I can't continue to spend, actually not in the copy and paste buffer anymore. Update Blackbox 075 or something. So download, not really sure what that was. A recurring theme of not the most amazing GitHub tag listing, whatever stuff. Let's see. What is our else set? Maybe that was. No, darn it. Yeah, that was it. Maybe even actually else set. I could not find. Emerge else set. Do we have this stuff? Is it named like this? Not installed. Even each package, 2019, each package needs a new archiving, decompressing, whatever thing. Things that for noobs what it doesn't seem. Anyway, can't find what etc in whatever funny stuff. What did we even want at our Blackbox? So the last time we tried this, it didn't build for whatever reason. Let's see what happens today. Also, maybe theoretically coming up next, how many people do we have watching? Do we have 9? Very theoretically, the thing is, I can't even, I have here some procedure of going live on YouTube, and normally you would, it's like adding here xrender, the second display, And best also if I plugged it in freshly, then maybe run this or switched on, maybe run this auto. Also, yeah, this also didn't, whatever. Do we have a empty table or maybe we messed up? Let's delete this. Blackbox 7.5, I think it was. Actually, I could have double checked that it's empty, but whatever. Because we might have, because we didn't have the archiver, we might have created some empty file maybe. Welcome Martin, welcome everyone. So very theoretically, I have on my to-do to maybe patch Blackbox, because my procedure is like xrender, then also reset the xrender, then I need to manually click here on Blackbox restart because it doesn't have xrender support. So otherwise it wouldn't show the menu, or wouldn't show the menu, or even it would even not allow me or behave erratically if you move windows, and then sometimes they move to the other screen because Blackbox somehow thinks these coordinates are invalid, and yeah, whatever. And normally you could like kill all. What did I not build this, or what happened now? Maybe I press Ctrl C. Anyway, so normally you could like kill all like hub or something, often used to restart or reread the config file. And I was thinking maybe I should patch. The last time I checked, Blackbox didn't support this. Does it now? Previously, not sure. So I could check with xrender. How would this? Okay, maybe we can try off. Also, yeah, probably messed up. Then let's kill all hub. Does it do something right now? Can we? I know this does probably. Let's manually restart it. Okay, no, yeah, no, this kill hub does something, whatever. It's not doing the right thing, I think. Left off. Auto, left off. So, what happens here is our black box. What the heck? Did this again? Don't tell me I press Ctrl C again. Aborted build, somehow aborted build. How do I even achieve that? Anyway, so let's try this. So I think now this Firefox moved over there or something. Because now, yeah, also this, you see, I move it over, and then this is exactly what I mean with erratic behavior, because somehow it doesn't think. So right now, let's try this. Yeah, thank you for it's exactly the erratic behavior of. So it is, no, it's not doing this. So I can't, if I right click here, I still get the menu on the first screen. So that is not amazing. This is why I thought maybe I should patch this to if signal sig hubs, then reread the config for that. So actually, it's surprisingly built. I didn't expect this. So then it was something with maybe missing packages of whatever sort is. So yeah, this update 7.5, commit that. What happened with our xorg server? That has some libutive not found. Okay, maybe this is somehow. Okay, anyway, let's maybe just commit this, because probably sure it's fine enough, whatever. Yeah, very theoretically, let's shortly log out on the data center. SU here locally. And so theoretically, but probably I don't do this here. Also, by the way, SVN up, so our latest and greatest stuff here on this local capture machine of 30 frames, goodness. How much do I even have? Oh, darn it. You see how much stuff do I usually have here lingering around of OpenOffice and stuff, you name it. Fun. Anyway, why am I so busy? Because, yeah, running a distribution. Patches welcome. You see each of my machines, capture machine, data center, each data center 300 changes. This locally, also word count something 81. Ryzen some, this virtual machine some, so yeah, I'm a little bit busy here. Yeah, Blackbox, theoretically we could take, let's download Blackbox off, but probably, also we don't even have LSIP. I also wonder why does everyone needs to use their own favorite archiving stuff. It's a little bit annoying in my opinion. Setlib, no, not setlib, setlib would be LSIP. Also for sure I only packaged LSIP, so I didn't even probably know that LSIP exists. Only packaged this for whatever package in T2 needed that first. It's hilarious. Probably could grab this, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, seriously, set standard really. We used basically bzip2 forever. Now set standard, in my opinion, set standard is for the it has. There's always something here better, there better, but set standard is pretty amazing, well maintained middle ground. So maybe everyone should use that, but rm download mirror b. Because it's a little bit annoying that each package, also for users, if you are a user and want to take a look, then first need whatever. Set standard, decompress, download mirror b, Blackbox, 75, tar. So that would be in source, and that is called restart, maybe, I guess restart, huh? Let's grab for, is it zig hub or, hey, it has here even case zig hub. Reconfigure, okay. Zig quit is restart, okay, so much to, then we could actually, don't even need to patch this, only live on this channel. So of course, exactly this thing that is hard to do on macOS, which by the way, fun fact, streaming on desktop Linux, by the way, 0 drop frames, amazing stuff, thank you for that. And 30 FPS on this aging Core i7, 3000 whatever, 45 watts here on this stupid Mac Mini. So that means exactly the stuff what Linux is, actually, by the way, you could probably read this better on this one. So that is exactly what I should have done a long time ago. Which is write here some shell script of, yeah, whatever. So that is basically kill all Blackbox with, actually maybe the other way around, zig quit, but by the way, probably, does it have probably this way, right? Blackbox, and before here xrender of this left of that. The only thing is also, that is also slightly stupid in my opinion, that each stupid, I'm actually, by the way, I'm already patching Linux kernel drivers because I really find it stupid when the Wi-Fi device is not called Wi-Fi or whatever it is. Fun fact, Wi-Fi or WLAN, WLAN 0, whatever. Doesn't really matter much, but some like M Wi-Fi and whatnot. So like we are patching 3 or 4 in of the few patches. I really wonder why the big distributions are not doing this, but whatever. What is really stupid, I wanted to say that each Xorg driver has different output names. It is really stupid that that it's not even on the next, it's DP dash and starting from 0 and not 1. It's like why, but whatever. Maybe one day I patch this, but maybe we better write a microkernel. Anyway, so yeah, so expand this, xrender this display. Also, a fun fact, I think the behavior is even different, right, on the stupid Xorg. So if we continue with our microkernel driver, which, fun fact, I took here already. Actually, not only do I need to file out some tax papers because running a business, so the rest of the weekend I will actually be busy with accounting and tax papers and and reverse engineering from other scanner, because some handful of customers are already waiting. The paying customers of ExactScan, amazing paperless document scan application stuff. Don't delay, try today, keeping our company here funded and alive. I took already the rendition verity out yesterday of rendition verity fame. I wanted to do the basic stuff sometime soon, because this is previous video rendition verity MIPS like 32-bit processor, the first fully programmable 3D card from 1995-ish, so like Voodoo, Verge and stuff. And we had a previous video playing Quake and going over the instruction set architecture, but I also wanted to implement some like our readable code of this stuff, so maybe time better spent of continuing with AMD, Intel, ATI, Matrox and stuff. And because if you start X on Intel graphic, you with the Intel driver, also the stupidity, right, that this bloody Xorg Intel driver is barely updated and released, but whatever. I really wonder what is wrong with companies. Because I mostly use this Intel driver actually, which by the way, fun fact, we built this from Git, of course, because no release in 3 or 4 years. Also, what stupidity is it, right? They develop it for 3 or 4 years. They improve the Intel driver, but never do a release, and everyone is shipping a Git snapshot. It's hilarious. So yeah, also I think on Intel I get this mirrored, and when I boot with AMD, I think I get this already left to each other. But so yeah, left off and then restart. We need to do the restart first, because restart wipes the root background image pixmap, and then eDisplay here to have here some nice, also yeah, eDisplay of exact image frame of our open source C++ image processing stuff. So that is basically that theoretically, yeah, at least you see, if you theoretically, I could even make this in menu entry, right, like here, like YouTube. Theoretically, there is some other stuff like taking the TG3 internet down. Maybe actually do this like sudo or something, because the TG3 is also a really stupid bug, right? My first live streams all have this glitch of stopping at some point when the TG3 fails. And I even brought a new switch, also previous videos, the switch by the way, pretty good. Nothing to complain, much cooler. So saving electricity, saving some electrons for Friday for Future. The swapping out the switch didn't help. And even running a precompiled so much too. It's the T2 bug. No, it's the same TG3 hiccup happens on the binary-only Fedora core kernel that we need for this binary-only Epiphone capture dongle, also all the previous videos. So going live on YouTube, taking down the internet, killing DH client, taking down the internet, starting it up again, that like 99.99% reliable fixes this TG3 hiccup. I also really wonder how this is, but maybe we find out also for our microkernel. Eventually we need to write a driver. I really wonder why, if I just bring up the internet and use it, then it dies after some megabit of data, and if I take the interface down again and up again, then it works more reliable. Can't make this stuff up. Not really sure what's going on there, but hardware and drivers 2019. So yeah, also recurring, so shorted also, do I want to have my, anyway, MAC address here so long, and maybe not. So yeah, YouTube script, exactly this kind of scripting that makes usability and daily work so much more amazing on Unix than on this macOS wannabe Unix, where you can't even capture desktop audio on macOS, right? Which even on this stupid Pulse Audio failing piece of thing you can, but on macOS I was so surprised. So live streaming on macOS with my Retina MacBook Pro is so much more miserable experience, including you need to install a third-party, maybe not that most trustworthy audio captured thing just to capture audio macOS. It's hilarious. So yeah. Streaming on Linux much more amazing, and with such kind of helpers of scripting your UI multi-display stuff, totally recommendable. Which by the way, fun fact, we probably change mod +X and try this out. YouTube said yeah, probably looks like it does something. Amazing stuff. Also lesson learned, read the sources. I think I might have also, maybe this is new, let's see, Blackbox. Signal, is it documented? At least I Googled or read the manual some month ago and didn't immediately find it. So much to read the freaking source. You usually find everything, including backdoors and features and whatnot. So yeah, that's it for today. Some toolchain stuff. Actually, didn't even really schedule the updates, did I? I think I logged out too early from the data center. Because, okay, Xorg, let's new release, a new remove. We have a couple of more updates, so much for getting your stuff here live on YouTube. Anyway, I hope you learned something and found this interesting. I also slightly wonder why, you see the discussion on the mailing list is literally longer than just doing this change. It's also a little bit slightly depressive for me that people have to ask for this toolchain stuff and not just do it. That is our motto here, just freaking code it. Only live on this channel. Whatever. Also, this asymptote is super stupid. It's somehow infinite building. I need to check another day what's wrong with that. But yeah, also then we have updated Blackbox, found out that sig quit does restart it. And yeah, how many people do we have watching? By the way, oh wow, 15 people are watching. That is more than some unsuccessful IDE stream. Yeah, sadly, I not only have a scanner to reverse engineer over the weekend for our amazing exact scanner, I also have some text papers. So not that much stuff over the weekend, but leave me in the comments below what you're interested in. Apparently more consistent coding is more successful than some old-fashioned IDE stuff. Fun fact, in the morning before putting the stuff away from the table, I checked this PowerPC board from last night with a compact flash card, and it also didn't work. So there is definitely, so it's not only this parallel IDE stuff, but there is definitely something not amazing with IDE on this PowerPC board. But also not even with interrupts, so like interrupts on Linux. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but I remember that I also have other PowerPC stuff where IDE was glitching, at least on Linux, like not stably working. Because I somehow wonder, like IDE and Atapi is anyway a really, like if you look into programmed I/O, PO mode and all this Atapi, like Atapi is basically like SCSI, like packets over IDE. It's also why it's called like packet mode or something. It's like historically really, really strange that we have this IDE. By the way, fun fact, is the display standing here in the way. I just realized, do we have, it's a display here in the way. Anyway, it's historically really frustrating that we have this stupid IDE stuff when SCSI watch, even on USB, we nowadays still use SCSI, and yeah, we have to deal with this IDE mess, like not like we have serial SCSI, we have this serial ATA. It's like, which by the way, fun fact, we will also soon take a look in. Did someone win the other PowerPC board? Yes, of course. Sent it to the UK on Twitter. To what is his name? Can check. So Nginx also compiled. Also Nginx. So yeah, it's there. So Twitter, and that went to, there would be probably here mentioned. Yes, new mentions. There's some PowerPC. Promote my apps, liked my stuff. Tyson Key. There in the UK, and there was someone else who wrote earlier. I basically thought, okay, I sent it, to be fair, I sent it to the first, who was there. But by the way, did I respond to you? I remember someone, to someone I responded, hey, hello, do you want it? And they didn't answer in a day. And then I thought, because I didn't want to have it here forever, said, okay, fair enough, then I continue with the next. So I applied, hey, hello, you commented here, do you want it, and didn't hear something 24 hours. And then I basically went on to the second next to rotor, which was Tyson key. And so I only hope it works for me, because for me it didn't boot with the same SCSI drive. It didn't boot, but it had VGA and all the self-test stuff looked okay. So I really hope it works somewhat. But yeah, it definitely should work in some way or another. So yeah, random, so engines, also we are on this main line and not stable. Leave me in the comments below, should our engines package be on mainline or on stable. Otherwise, that's it for this morning. I probably need to eat something and then do scanner reverse engineering in Texas. Hope you learned something and enjoyed this fun, Unix crazy, just coded Linux desktop guy here live on YouTube. Would be amazing if you share, like, and subscribe. And if I see you soon for all the next videos and live streams to come.